Yo, what is going on, you guys? It's your boy King Sanders here. We are back with another day of sports betting. This is going to be for Thursday, December 29th slate of NBA action, man. I'm super excited to dive into it. I think we have like 8 games, if I remember correctly, 6 to 8 games, something along those lines. So we have a pretty decent slate here to pick from, and I ended up finding some plays that I really do like. So before we go ahead and dive into it, I did just want to go ahead and say we ended up hitting 10,000 subscribers yesterday, and man, that's an absolute, crazy milestone to ever achieve. It truly is just like so, like it seems unreal. It truly seems unreal that I am finally at 5-digit subscribers. I mean, that's man, I seriously can't thank you guys enough. I will hop off my soapbox. I'll save that for another video. But seriously, you guys rock. You guys are awesome. Thank you guys so much for if you've ever clicked on a video, if you've ever liked a video, shared it with one of your friends, anything that you've ever done, commented on it. Seriously, you guys, thank you so much. But I'll save that for a rainy day. We are now on to 11,000 subscribers. We will be doing that giveaway for the 10,000 on the first of the year, so make sure that you guys are tuned for that one. But before we go ahead and dive into it, just a quick shout out here to all of our members here on the channel. Thank you guys so much for everything that you guys do. And thank you guys so much for giving such a small channel such a big chance, as I always say. It truly does mean the absolute world to me. So much more than you guys will ever know. So, without any further ado, let's go ahead and dive into a quick recap from yesterday. But before we do, and boom, ladies and gentlemen, yes, we are here with the sunnies on, with the shades on. And if you guys are new around here and you guys have absolutely no idea what I'm talking about, this ends up meaning that we had a clean sweep on our official plays as of yesterday. We had a really good day. We ended up going 4-0. 4-0 on our plays, man. I'm just so stoked about that one. We had a couple of really close games. We had some bets that weren't even close. We absolutely smoked them. So let's go ahead and dive into it. So we did end up having our kill shot play of the day. We had D'Angelo Russell over 17.5 points. He started the game off pretty rough, shooting 2 for 7 from the field. But after that, he ended up turning up. Ends up with like 27 points, so just about hits that 30-point mark. Ends up getting it done here pretty easily, despite Zion being back in the rotation for the New Orleans Pelicans. Then we did have Grayson Allen over 8.5 points versus Chicago. Man, Grayson, I still dislike you so incredibly much, but hey, you ended up getting it done here for us, so I guess I can pull that back just a touch. But what you did on DeRozan is not okay. Definitely don't like you for that. But anyway. Then we did have the Pistons, plus 1.5 here versus the Magic at minus 110. No sweat whatsoever. Even though we almost saw World War III when Mo Wagner ended up pushing Killian Hayes out of bounds. Killian Hayes comes back, decks him. I definitely, like, I didn't even know what I saw. I was like, these two teams are, so incredibly mid right now. But, it is what it is. Ended up working out for us. And then we did have our added play. I did also put on there, like, basically to be careful if Sabonis does end up playing, but I had already made it an official play. So truthfully, I would have laid off if I would have known Sabonis was going to play. But either way, De'Aaron Fox ends up hitting it for us. So we ended up going 4-0 on those plays. And our consensus play cashed. We had the Warriors plus the 2.5. Started off pretty rough. Jazz were pulling away in the first half, but then luckily in the second half, the Warriors fought all the way back and ends up getting a W for us. So we ended up going technically 5-0 if you count the consensus, 4-0 on official plays. We had a great day yesterday. Let's go ahead and duplicate that today. Let's have another winning day, and let's go ahead and dive into it. So for our first official play of the day, our King's Kill Shot play of the day, we are taking Donovan Mitchell over 27.5 points here versus the Pacers at minus 105 odds. Now, I like this for a couple different reasons. First things first, Donovan Mitchell on the road is elite. He's only played 14 road games with the Cleveland Cavaliers so far, and he has hit the over in 11 of them. So he's been really good to this line on the road, and I don't expect anything to change here. He has had 2 bad games where he has gone under in 2 straight, so he is due for a bounce back, which makes me like it even more. Also, Indiana to that shooting guard position is not very good. They've allowed the 5th most points per game to opposing shooting guards in the last 7 games. So they do give up a ton of points to that shooting guard position. On top of that, Indiana, they do allow the 9th most 3-pointers made per game to opposing shooting guards in the last 7, which is absolutely huge because we all know Donovan Mitchell, he shoots a ton of threes. He's averaging 9.2 3-point attempts per game. That's insane. He shoots a ton of threes. And so with that being said, if he gets hot against a team that allows a lot of threes, sign me up for an over. He could literally get close to at least half of this number just from three. So I really do like this here for a King Skill Shot play of the day. He's already dropped, he dropped 40 against them last time that they played. Why can't he do that again? So I really do like it for our Kill Shot play of the day. Donovan Mitchell over 27.5 points here versus the Pacers at -105 odds. Now for our second play of the day, we are going back to a guy that always treats us right. We're going with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander over 31.5 points here versus Charlotte at -105 odds. Now, he has gone over in 3 out of his last 5 games, so just about 60%. But he's really good on both the road and at home. It just really depends on what kind of matchup you are looking into for SGA. But this is a pretty good one. He's averaging 31.4 points per game on the road, and he has gone over in 4 out of his last 7 road games and finishing 1 of them right on the hook. So he's been very close to 5 out of his last 7, and I think it's a pretty good spot. SGA also leads the league in drives per game with an average of 24.4 drives per game, which is really good for us because Charlotte allows is 21st in points in the paint on the year. So they give up the top 10 when it comes to points in the paint. They're not necessarily a great interior defensive type of team. As we know, their center play really does lack over there in Charlotte. Normally we take the centers versus Charlotte. That's just the rule. But in this case, we're taking a point guard that loves to drive versus Charlotte. You guys see a trend here, and I do really like this one for sure. Also, Charlotte in the last 7 games, they do allow the 10th most points per game to opposing point guards. So it doesn't really matter to me what he is. Like if you want to classify him as a point guard or a shooting guard, doesn't matter to me. I think he ends up crushing this either way. I think he does get to about that 35 range. So I do think it's a really good spot here to be taking an over here for SGA. He did end up having, I'm pretty sure last game he did kind of struggle in this one. So I do think it's a really good bounce back spot too. So that is going to be our second official play of the day. Hopefully SGA does not let us down. He's my second favorite player in the entire NBA. Come on SGA, don't do it to us. So that is going to be our second play of the day. SGA over 31.5 points versus Charlotte at -105 odds. Now for our third official play of the day, we are going to be taking Steven Adams under 9.5 rebounds here versus Toronto at +110 odds. Now, I really like this one. I know that it's pretty crazy plus odds, but just hear me out before you guys just think that it's going to be a loss. Now, he has gone over in 4 out of his last 5. He's been really good. But prior to the last 5 games, he's gone under in 5 straight before that. So, I do think that there is a pretty good chance that we do see an under here from Mr. Steven Adams. And he has only gone over in 2 career games versus the Raptors, where he has played in 18 games versus the Raptors. So he is 16-2 to the under. Sign me up for that, okay? Like that absolutely screams an under here for me. And Toronto, they do allow the 5th fewest rebounds per game to opposing teams in general. So I just think it's really going to be a tough spot. We all know that Steven Adams can get into foul trouble. He is part of the Memphis Grizzlies team with Dillon Brooks, who they can just get into foul trouble like just by breathing on them. So you never really know. And let's be honest, Siakam is a very, very talented center. He can do a little bit of everything. And he doesn't really spend too much time like in the inside and really banging down low. So I think that there is a good chance that we do see a change of like maybe like a Brandon Clark or even like a Triple J out there on Siakam. And with that being said, we could see reduced minutes here from a guy like Steven Adams. So I think that we could just see a little bit of fluctuation there. So I think there's plenty of ways that Steven Adams could go under in this one. I know that it's kind of low for Steven Adams, but really not really. Outside of the last 5 games, he's gone under in 5 straight. So I think it's a pretty good spot here. We're going to be riding with it here for some plus value. Steven Adams under 9.5 rebounds here versus Toronto at +110 odds. Now, I will go ahead and talk about a parlay that I am personally going to be betting. It's obviously not going to be an official play because there's no, there's just nothing I can really put on the overlay or anything like that. But I just want to let you guys know that this is something that I'm going to be betting because I love these 2 props individually, but the lines were just so juiced that it really just kind of threw me off of it, and I just didn't want to do it. So this is something that I'm going to be betting. It's a parlay. +177 value if you guys do want to take it. It's 2 legs. And the first leg is going to be Jason Tatum over 3.5 assists. He has gone over in 6 out of his last 7 games, but he does have a pretty tough matchup versus Kawhi Leonard. Could see him be a little bit more passive in this game. And if he's already gone over in 6 out of his last 7, I mean, I think he can do it again for sure. So that is the first leg. And then I also do like Evan Mobley over 8.5 rebounds. He has gone over in 4 out of his last 5 road games. He's been very good rebounder here on the road. And Indiana does allow the 3rd most rebounds per game to opposing power forwards in the last 7. He is going to be matched up on Smith more than likely, if barring any injuries or anything. But he should be matched up on more of an inside player as opposed to Miles Turner. Miles Turner is going to be more on the outside, kind of shooting threes. Smith is going to be more of an inside player, so he will more than likely be spending some time in the paint, getting some extra rebounds. So I do like that. That's just a little 2-leg parlay that I am going to be personally throwing in. Tatum over 3.5 assists, Mobley over 8.5 rebounds. So I do think it's a pretty good spot, especially with some plus value, almost plus 200 for two plays. One that's like minus 155 and one that's like minus 145. Sign me up. So that is going to be our parlay there, a nice little 2-legger. Now we do have the consensus play. We are going to be going to the Cavs and the Pacers game. The Pacers are currently 5.5-point underdogs here to the Cleveland Cavaliers. So from left to right, we do have Brady. Brady is going to be on the Cavs. Mitch is going to be on the Pacers. Ryan is going to be on the Cavs. We do have Seth is going to be on the Pacers. And personally, for me, it's going to be a tiebreaker. I'm going with the Pacers. I know that Tyrese Halliburton is listed as questionable. I just don't care. I really don't care because first things first, the Cleveland Cavaliers are not very good against the spread on the road. They're just not. Despite Donovan Mitchell playing absolutely fantastic on the road, they're just not a very great team. The Pacers are a pretty good team against the spread at home. And this line, to me, plus 5.5, says that Tyrese Halliburton is going to play. I just think that he will for sure. So I really do like that. That's going to be our consensus play of the day. Pacers plus 5.5 here versus the Cavs at minus 110 odds. So that is going to do it for today's video. If you guys did enjoy, make sure you guys do like, comment, subscribe, turn on that notification bell so you guys know whenever I post. Like I said, we are now on the road to 11,000. That's just crazy to say. But we are now on the road to 11,000 subscribers. So if you guys are new, make sure that you guys do like, comment, subscribe, turn on that notification bell, and I will see you guys all tomorrow. Peace.